Hello guys, welcome to my channel Onesimus SPT, and in this video we will learn about Git. We will learn from the basics so we can have knowledge, we can understand how Git works, and also we can use it for building project with our team. As we know, programmer must have Git skill because we will use it in every project we have to build. Okay, the first thing you need to make sure is you already have installed Git in your computer. You can install Git in gitsgm.com/downloads. You can download depending on your operating system. If you are using Mac OS, Windows, or Linux, you can install in different way. Okay, let's say we have installed Git in our computer, so we can running Git in our terminal in command prompt in Windows or terminal at Ubuntu, and you will see available command from Git. You can use git clone, git init, git add, git mv, move, or rename file, git restore, etc. Git branch, git commit, git merge. And in this video we will use a common command that you will need to use in your project, such as git branch, git commit, git merge, git add, git status, git pull, and git push. Okay, let's create a folder called learn Git. Let's say this folder is our project, our real project, and then you can go to folder, if you never push your code or your project to repository, you need to initialize Git first. We will create one file, let's say code.txt. If we're running Git here, git status in example, you will have fatal error that said not a Git repository because we never define Git in this project, in this directory. So let's initialize Git with git init command. This command will initialize Git repository, and there is .git folder in our directory. If we running command ls, we will not see .git directory. But if we running ls min al we will see .git because the folder .git is hidden by default. We don't need to know more about .git folder. That folder will be used by Git to manage our code. So what's the purpose of using Git? Git has so much things that why we need to use Git, such as code versioning, code merging. So we have one project, one code base for our project. So everyone in team can have a same resource for project's code. Okay, now we can run git status. You can see here untracked file. Every file, every folder, every directory in our project needs to track. If Git doesn't know the file, or if you have never add that file or directory to Git, Git will know that file or directory as untracked file. So how we add our file and directory to Git? We can run git add the file name or a directory name, or you can also add git add dot. It means that we will add all files, all directories in our project at our working directory. Now if we see here git status, the file will be tracked. So Git will know this file is added to repository, added to Git. Okay. And what's next? Next, let's say we want to save our code to repository. Okay, about repository, we have several options to deploy our code, to deploy our project using Git, such as GitHub, like this. You can deploy your project to repository. You can create repository for your project. Also, you have another options such as GitLab, also Bitbucket, and the others. I think there are so many options besides this. I already create video for deploying project using Git to GitLab. You can see in my YouTube channel here, upload project to GitLab. For now, I will try to implement Git in GitHub. Let's create a repository. Before you can create repository, you need to sign up and sign in to GitHub. I already have the GitHub's account, so I just log in and create repository for my project. You can read Git documentation. Here you can read all about Git in reference manual or pro Git. git add, git status, git diff. All about git is documented here. Okay, let's create a repository called learn git. This repo used to try. You can choose public or private, but in this case I will set my repository as public. Then I don't need to add readme file .getinor. Yeah, .getinor is a file that define what file or directory that excluded from our git. Git will inor that file and that directory. You can define it here. Let's say we create file .getinor. Then we can define. Let's say I want to exclude a file name 1.txt, let's say. Okay, and then I create 1.txt, and then I will git status. My file will not tracked by git. No. Okay, let's try git add all, and git status also our file that ignored by Google, by git I mean. I'm sorry for my bad English. Okay, and then let's try this repository. Yeah, here a step if we want to upload or push an existing repository using command line. After we add our file or our directory or all file and folder besides ignored file and folder directory, we need to commit. You can commit with this command git commit min-m. Min-m means message. Initial commit. You can adjust the message according or depending on your code change. After we commit our code, we run git push. But because our directory doesn't know what repository we will use, so I will copy this and I will running this command git remote add origin, and you can copy this link. I'm sorry. You can check with git remote minv. You will see origin with our repository URL. Then we can running git push. But because this is the first time we push to repository, we can running git push set upstream or git push min u origin main. You can choose one, whatever you choose. Let's try git push min u origin main. Failed. Why we failed to push to our repository? We can check our git config list. I'm sorry, git config min help. min list, git config min list. You can see here I'm using another git account. So let's using the right user for this repository. In this case, I will use my Onesimus account. We can set git config. Example, you can set email and username. Getting start first time git setup. You can running this command, git config global username, git config global user.name. Let's say my name is Onesimus. Whoop. Min global, and then git config min global user.email, and you can define your email here. Ow, I'm sorry, I do mistakes. Okay, you can git config min list again, and you will see git user and git username, git name and git email has been changed. And then you can git push again, min u origin main, origin master. Yeah, what is main or master? Master is branch. You can look branch here. Let's refresh this first. You can see here you have a default branch called master. So you can push your code into different branch. You can create new branch. You can create your own branch or change branch name. But as default, Git give you master as your default branch. So you can push with git push min u origin master. The next commit you will need just git push. Yeah, everything up to date. Git push min u origin master. If we push our codes for the first time, the next time we just need to git push, and then our code will be uploaded to GitHub. You can see here our code. Okay, let's add some content to our code. This is my text, and this is the second text, and then I will git add code.txt, git commit, I add 2 lines of code, and then I will git push. Let's see what will happen here. I will refresh this repository, and you will see there is a commit here, add 2 lines of code, and you can see the change here. Okay, now we will create a conflict. Let's say our friend in our team do change here, and this is I'm changing this in another computer, or my friend do change code in the same file with my code. I will save this file. If the others do change the code and push to repository, the code in repository will change. And how about our code? Our code still the same with our code, and there will difference between our file and the file in repository. So what we need to do? What we need to do is git pull Okay, back. I'm sorry for the distraction. I paused the video for a moment. Okay, we have different code in our in our computer and different to GitHub code. And then we will git pull now we can cat code.txt you can see now we have the same code to the repository. And how about if we change this people change this, okay, and commit here. Also we change in here. What? I will close this first and reopen the code, and then I will what? Let's quit this, and I will open the file using home Unisinus learn git. Home computer home Unisinus learn git learn git, and I will open using my text editor. In Windows you can use Notepad. In Ubuntu you can use text editor default text editor. And then how about if we change this code also? I change this code, this line also, and I will save. And then we want to git add this file and git commit. I change second line also and git push, and we cannot push before we git pull first because the repository code has been changed and our local code is not the latest code, so we can git pull first, and here we can meet the conflict. Yep, you will see here automatic merge failed, fix conflict, and then commit the result. Why? Because here we can see reload. You can see this will be 2 lines because we change this line and the people change this line, the same line but the different code. This will make conflict to our code. The same file and the same line, the same line, and we can choose one, which one is the latest, or we can combine Like this. We save this code. After we save, we can git add again, git commit, and merge the conflict. Example. And git push again, and the code will be merged and pushed to the repository with the latest code and the merged code. Okay, we can replace this. The second line will be merged between your code and people code. That's how we can fix the conflict using Git. Fix the conflict first, Git add the conflict file, Git commit, and Git push. The flow will be the same: Git add, Git commit, Git push, Git add, Git commit, Git push, Git add, Git commit, Git push, Git merge. But the common command is Git pull, Git add, Git commit, Git push. And now, how about if we want to why this cursor? And how to get the code from repository for the first time? We can do git clone, and then we can copy the URL, the repository URL. I have that internet connection here, and then paste here .git my text editor is not good. Destination learn Git is, we have a wrong path of Git. We can copy here, copy, and then git clone paste here. But my paste comment is not good. Okay, because we already have learn Git directory, so this cannot be done. So we can rm in rr first for learn Git, and then we can running git clone and URL repository, and then we'll be cloning into learn Git the folder named learn Git. That's how we get code from repository for the first time. And if we change directory to learn Git, we will see the same code, the same file, the same directory to our repository. I think this is the introduction for Git tutorial. I'm sorry for my bad English. I still try to be better in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I need your comment, I need your like. Okay, I will stop this video. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.